the leading Brexiteers, and their supporters in the media, are exasperated with their provisional wing. Can't the likes of Francois and Steve Baker see that by refusing to support Theresa May's deal they are jeopardizing the whole project? They wail. What they mean is, these dopes haven't thought this through because they're not clever enough. It takes one to know one. After all, we're currently being treated to a succession of so-called mainstream Brexiteers conceding that leaving the EU is a lot more difficult than they had thought. The Attorney General, Geoffrey Cox, is just the latest example. We have underestimated its complexity. It needs a hard-headed understanding of realities, he told us in between quoting lines from T.S. Eliot. April has been the month when prominent right-wing commentator Peter Robourne confronted this cruelest of realities. If we are honest, we Brexiteers have to admit that the economic arguments for Brexit have been destroyed by a series of shattering blows. So, you can understand the wry smile on the faces of some of the 16 million who supported Remain when these Brexiteers now claim that their ultra-wing are behaving illogically and haven't given enough thought to what they're doing. In any case, it's not true. While far from the position advocated by the Evening Standard, the actions of the hardest of hard Brexiteers are perfectly logical. First, they have taken at their word the likes of Boris Johnson, David Davis and Dominic Raab when they said in the past that signing up to Mrs May's deal would be substantially worse than staying in the EU. They were right, even if they have now done a volte-face and supported the deal over which they resigned from the cabinet. Walking out of the councils of the EU but still signing up to its laws and regulations really is much worse than staying in the room and having some say on what those laws and regulations should be. The Brexiteer ultras are not being stupid when they point that out. Out of our hands nor is the clean break they seek as unachievable as everyone assumes. Yvette Cooper and Oliver Letwin have achieved a constitutional miracle in passing through Parliament, against the wishes of the government, a law that delays Brexit. They have done us all a huge service. But the Prime Minister's humiliating visits to Berlin and Paris yesterday remind us that our fate is now firmly in the hands of the Europeans. The triggering of Article 50, and the picking of March 29 as Brexit Day, was our unilateral decision. From now on, however, the choice of whether Britain can remain in the EU is in the hands of the European Council. They will almost certainly grant an extension tonight, but it will be time-limited and only renewable with their consent and with evidence of good behaviour on our side. If we start threatening to use our veto or block the next European budget, then the message from Brussels is, you're out. Europe's in control now, Theresa May's Minister for Brexit admits. Congratulations, Brexit-committed government, you have managed to achieve the biggest transfer of power from the UK to the EU in history, giving to the institution the power to expel one of its members if they dare to exercise their rights. The Brexit ultras now intend to provoke Brussels to exercise its newly won control. Mr. Francois says he and his group will ensure we are perfidious Albion on speed. Jacob Rees-Mogg, who flip-flops from hardliner to appeaser, promises to sabotage the EU budget and any treaty changes. For those who doubt the power of this hardline minority to frustrate the whole EU, remember that key decisions on things such as the budget and future treaty change require a majority in the Commons, and these ultras have amply demonstrated their ability to prevent that majority forming. The Brexit ultras are also confident that the next Tory leader will only get elected this summer if they sign up to their impossible red lines, ensuring from the start that the new Tory administration cannot comply with the terms of the probation that Brussels has set. Those who say the EU will never